Hey guys, Camford15 back at it with another video for you guys, and after such a long hiatus, I'm finally now back with my One Piece weekly episode reviews. I thought it's about time I finally get back to this. I apologize for missing out on all the many weeks that I missed out on talking about the One Piece anime for the subbed version. Obviously, with work getting in the way and me getting home late, and then also me still applying to other jobs and things like that, a lot of your personal life can get in the way of doing the YouTube stuff. And like I said, I do it for fun. Again, I hope I get to 1,000 subscribers, so then eventually videos can be monetized. So hit the subscribe button if you want to get more One Piece content, more anime content. I will upload on the channel and I'll get to them as fast as I can. But I missed out on a lot of stuff regarding the One Piece anime for EggHead. And this will be the video talking about. Now, I won't go in depth. Honestly, I could go in massive depth, but I feel like this is going to be kind of your catch 'em up things. I'll highlight some major points, really, which is really, if I'm talking about it, what we saw the last episode, Lucci versus Luffy stuff, the CP0 finally getting to Egghead, the Stellas, the backstory of the aftermath of the Ohara incident. I'm trying to think. Nothing else. Oh, the big gigantic robot. Other than that, that's really basically it. So I'm going to touch upon, so I'm not really going to go like episode by episode. I'm just going to talk about a certain talking point and to kind of expound on it, even though I somewhat know because I read the manga, but even then I can still formulate some theories because some of the stuff still has yet to be answered. So, number one, we actually do come back. The Straw Hats actually do fight the Jinbei Seraphim, the Pacifista, and damn near they almost all, they get destroyed. None of the attacks that they do, it works. Nothing. Like, they tried every damn thing. They even tried some of their better attacks, and this Seraphim, Jinbei Pacifista is basically taking these hits and getting back up. Like, he knocks Sanji away like a freaking fly, like as if it's nothing. On top of it, he also has well, the devil fruit form that Senor Pink had, the ability, ability, which is literally swimming through the ground, which honestly, if you were to give Jinbei a devil fruit ability, that would probably work best, outside of the fact that he probably can't swim in the water. But him being able to swim and land as if he was swimming in the water, that would just make him so much more of a big threat. And you kind of see, like, okay, yeah, he could potentially be a problem if he ever had this devil fruit. But like, the Straw Hats were doing everything in their best abilities to like try to defeat this Seraphim, and nothing was working. And so far, with all the Seraphim Pacifistas we've been seeing, majority of the pirates have not been able to beat these things. If anything, well, we don't know what happened with Blackbeard, really. He more than likely obviously got away somehow, but, he was even shocked that, like, oh, these guys can actually take hits. Uh-oh, I might be in trouble. So, yeah, and again, it gets to the point till one of the Stellas, which is Shaka, ends up showing up and basically telling the Seraphim to stop, because otherwise Nami would have been, like, dead and killed. The thing what was pretty interesting is how Nami didn't want to hit this pacifist. Not one, because it's Jinbei, but two, it looks like it's basically a kid version of Jinbei, and basically Nami used the reason like, I can't attack a kid, which it shows her loving nature that she does have. Like, even though she is, I could say, somewhat of a tomboy slash like aggressive, a very aggressive person when it comes to the other members or certain members of the crew, she is very carefree and she's very kind and caring for children. We saw it with Otama, we saw it with the kids on Punk Hazard. you get your you understand. So that's the thing, which after Shaka kind of deforms them, that leads into like all the different all the different Vegapunks. We know what they look like and everything. I'm not it's a big enough talking point, but not really much of a talking point. It's Shaka, Edison, Lilith. There's 6 of them. I only got 3. Lilith, Shaka, Edison, Lilith, Pythagoras, Pythagoras, Frick. The one that Luffy encountered, I forgot her name. And then we see another gigantic one. Trying to think. Crap, I forgot her name too. I'm sorry, I didn't bring notes, and I haven't seen the episodes in weeks, really. But the one that's the one that has the like sin greed or whatever. And we see her like, oh, she kind of is like a laissez-faire type of person. She eats a lot. She gets all fat and everything. And then she slims down after a while. And it's like, what the hell is wrong with her? So, yeah. But I'll probably have her name at some point. As well as the other one that Luffy encountered. But basically, what happens is Shaka's like, yeah, I apologize. Just wanted to test you guys. And then he goes into the backstory about Ohara. He sees like, oh, you're Nico Robin. You know, you remember the Ohara incident and everything. And Robin kind of gets a little bit defensive about it. And that's when Shaka kind of, explains, about the incident and everything. He goes on to say that Vegapunk actually went to Ohara, like I think a few days after the Buster Call on Ohara happened. And shockingly enough, we thought like there would be nothing left of Ohara, because we know like a Buster Call is like a complete annihilation of an island, so that basically there was like nothing left. So I remember when I was reading this in the manga, I thought like, wait, there's still some land on Ohara? I thought like it was completely destroyed, like it was wiped off the face. Basically what we saw with the situation with Sabo, where that huge beam attack that looks like the world government summoned, like completely just like did it. But I guess that's a whole different thing and a whole different topic. But we find out like, oh, Vegapunk actually went to the island to pay his respects, because we find out the guy knew Clover. He knew Clover. He knew the guy. He knew one of Robin's mentors. The guy that figured out the world history and basically, was telling it to the world government right then and there on the Buster Call. And before he said the name of the ancient kingdom, that's when they're like, all right, no, sorry, kill his ass. And then that's when they started the Buster Call. So he went to Ohara to pay his respects for Clover and everything. And then in the meantime, Dragon's also there. We also find another revelation with Vegapunk, and we also do get the Vegapunk's design. Basically, Vegapunk's his design is it's a unique design. His tongue sticks all the way out. His current design, and then like half his head is cut off and is replaced with like the apple top of a portion of the apple and everything. But we find out he also has a devil fruit, which is the brain fruit, which basically the man knows damn near almost everything, and all that information is stored in his head. No, however in the hell he cut off his hair, he did some shit. Or not his hair, his head, his forehead, because his head in the flashback, it was dang near like it was like, geez Louise, like almost like 15 feet into the air. Like he had a big ass head. How he slept back then, I have no clue. He must have had like some long bed then. But we find out in this flashback that Dragon also was there in a weird way to kind of see the aftermath of what the world government did. And this is like when he's first starting off the Revolutionary Army and everything. And we kind of find out and get some revelations that Dragon actually requested Vegapunk to join the Revolutionary Army, but the reason why Vegapunk didn't do that, because this Vegapunk, when he started working for the world government, he's like, listen, dude, I would have loved to, but you just don't have the amount of resources that the world government can provide. They got all the funds and the things and the resources that I can use to be able to do what I want to achieve in my goal of science. I would have loved to help you because you're a good friend of mine, but like, you don't have that type of money. You don't have that type of flow. You don't have those type of resources, essentially. So I'm sorry, I can't do that for you. And obviously kind of dragging at first when he's like, oh, I never thought I'd see you. And then he kind of pressed Vegapunk about not joining the Revolutionary Army. But listen, Vegapunk made it actually really smart case. Like, he made a good point. Like, listen, you guys are just starting up what you guys got, and you just have a whole rebellion. Like, you guys have no money, you guys have no funds, you guys have no resources where I can use, or the type of technology I can use or build things and help you guys out. I can't do that. So only way I had to do the deal with the devil, but listen, at least they're letting me do what I need to do. And they got the resources to let me do what I need to do. So, that's the thing. But, the further as this flashback goes on, and he sees these giants, and there's this hole. And then all of a sudden, this hole has these books. And what gets revealed is these were the books that the Ohara scholars ended up saving. Now, we don't know if they saved all the books. I think they specified they didn't save all the books in the flashback, or Vegapunk was talking about, Shaka was talking about. They didn't save all of it, more than likely, but a good chunk of those books are still preserved. And what happens, and it makes sense why the scientists, they ended up going back to the World Tree on Ohara, and they were saving the books. And they found this underground water grotto where they must have just threw these books in there because they had nothing left else to do, because they needed to save these books, because all the research they had from researching the basic of the Void Century, it's all in those books, basically. So they must have been thinking like, oh no, we got to not only take the water, get water, but listen, we got to find a good place to make these books so they don't burn. So they put these books in this water puddle, and Dragon's like, yeah, these giants have been taking them out and everything. And basically, what is revealed is that these giants ended up saving, and these books are still in solid condition, and everything's preserved. And we found out these giants ended up taking these books back to Elbaf to put in their library, and especially behind the man, which is later revealed to be Jaguar D. Saul. They're all preserved in Elbaf, and basically, Shaka's like, Jaguar D. Saul and everything. And we find out he's still alive. We thought he died in the flashback after Aokiji, froze him. But no, he's still alive. He is still alive. And he's on Elbaf, probably recuperating and watching over it. Maybe potentially expecting Robin to eventually go to Elbaf. And this just gets Robin to just break out in tears and everything. It's funny how the crew, I won't say it's funny, but I like how the crew at first, they kind of like defend her, like, hey, listen, if you're gonna hurt Robin's feelings, we're gonna kick your ass. But it was an emotional moment for Robin, because it's like she thought everything that happened in her flashback was all gone. All that hard work the scholars did was for nothing. And the fact that she's now finding out, like, no, these giants saved Clover's work, and all the scholars that I knew all the way back then on Ohara basically has to do, I guess in a weird way, my mother's work as well. It's all still intact, and on top of it, the person who was really truly my first friend is still alive after he forced me to leave him and everything. So so this only sets up the fact that the Straw Hats have to go to frickin' Elbaf. Like, I guarantee you, when Luffy meets up with when Luffy meets up with the rest of the crew, Robin's more than likely going to be begging Luffy, listen, we got some pretty groundbreaking news. We need to go to Elbaf, like, right now. There's somebody very important to me there, and then plus there's also something that potentially could help us. So I think Luffy would be okay with that. And he'd be like, well, sure, yeah, let's go to Elbaf then. We can see the land of the giants and everything. Um, so that's kind of the thing right then and there. I thought that was a cool revelation. I remember reading it back in the manga. It was also just a wild, but also great revelation to find out, like, okay, this is setting up the next arc, Elbaf. It's clear we're gonna get Elbaf in the next main arc of the series. Like, we actually now have a reason to go there. You know, it isn't just going there because, oh, hey, we're going there to see the land of the giants, because we have some connections to other giants in the past of the story. We're actually going there for a potential, like, legitimately big story. Well, it's probably the best thing to do. So that was a big, huge revelation. Um, Another revelation we got was about that robot. We find out from Vegapunk that robot basically came on and terrorized Marijois, and there was nothing that the world government could do to stop it. Ever since then, it's been powered down and it's not doing much, and it's just been there, literally getting mossed up and everything. So that's kind of the thing right then and there. Also, too, Vegapunk makes the plea to Luffy, like, "Hey, you need to get me off this island. Can I go with you?" And we find out because CP0 is there to kill Vegapunk. And they talk about, like, yeah, there's like six, or Stussy makes the mention, like, there's like six, there's six, like, different Vegapunks called the Stella and everything, you know. So we gotta kill the main body, but it's also doesn't help. It also would help to kill the other ones, the other Vegapunks too, since they basically are Vegapunk. And we kind of see how that first they get to the entry of the island, and the reason why they're there too, and another reason why they're potentially suspicious and why they're gonna kill Vegapunk, is because we find out from them, like, apparently CP0 or other CP, like, core agents went to Egghead to, like, do some, like, I guess spying or reconnaissance, or maybe doing the thing of, okay, they were probably gonna kill Vegapunk and everything, but, you know, they CP0 Lucci and the others say, like, yeah, we haven't heard anything from those, like, divisions, and those divisions haven't shown up. They just disappeared, and we have never seen. And the last trip place they went to was Egghead. I forgot the divisions. I think they made a mention of, like, one or no, eight, whatever. But, you know, you have it to where, like, I think it's Pythagoras. He plays it off like, oh, we don't know anything about that, you know, and everything, which clearly they do know something about those CP agents. But then Lil was kind of shit talk. She's like, oh, well, who cares? You want to bring it on? Then come bring it on, fool. Come bring it on. So yeah, they end up getting jumped by these robots, but it's nothing for CP0. We have another Sarah. They also have a Kuma Seraphim, another pacifista accompanying them. And basically, we kind of get the breakdown in terms of standings with these pacifistas. And we find out, like, okay, these pacifistas take orders on certain levels. So the elders, they have the highest level. So whatever they say, the Seraphim, the pacifistas will do. Under the next level under the elders in terms of commanding pacifistas is Vegapunk, and then we see Sentomaru too. Sentomaru, who ends up getting attacked at the last bit of the last episode, which it's nice to see Sentomaru again. So we have it to where Vegapunk is next in line in command, and then everything else after Sentomaru, that's CP0, that's any CP agents or anything, you know, or any, I guess, other marine people that would tell the Seraphim on what to do. And it's a pretty interesting hierarchy. So clearly they're implementing this to show us, like, all right, if for some reason Luffy and company are with Vegapunk and the five elders end up showing there, you know, even though Vegapunk can order maybe a Seraphim or a pacifista to attack the five elders to get away, the five elders can easily be like, go attack them right now. So that's the thing right then and there, which is Okay, a pretty interesting like tidbit. So, we know, and this is the fact that we now real find like okay, there's a whole hierarchy in terms of chain of command and what certain marine officials can tell these seraphim can do, or these pacifistas. Really, I keep calling them seraphims, but pacifistas. So that's kind of the thing right then and there. They enter the island, um, and eventually, you know, one of the Stella comes across Lucci. Lucci in his leopard form just takes this thing out with takes out the one Stella easily, and it's the one that Luffy met. Eventually, Luffy and the others end up running into hold on a quick second. Yeah, sorry, but anyways, you get my point. They come across Lucci. Luffy's like, "Oh, hey, it's Pigeon Guy," which is funny, and then Lucci's like, "Straw Hat, what the hell are you doing here?" Now, the thing that's interesting before they start fighting and everything, you know, because Luffy's an emperor now, um, basically the world government, unless given approval from the superiors, from their superiors, that's when they're allowed to like start attacking any emperor they see because the world government views like, well, if we attack an emperor, well then shit, man, we're asking to start war essentially. And it's funny because we do cut over to Akainu and some marines are giving some updates. We get some pretty big updates. One, we find Kizaru's actually on his way to Egghead as the episode's going on, which is crazy, which then leads into a whole another theories. Could we be getting Kizaru versus Luffy potentially? And I'll talk about the reason why, and potentially after with this Lucci Luffy fight, just from the standpoint we see how the fight with Lucci is going against Luffy right now. So we're setting up the potential chance that we might be getting Luffy versus Kizaru, and we'll finally see, okay, how does Gear 5 Luffy go up against an Admiral level now? We know how Luffy fares up, whether it's his base form or Gear 4 or Gear 2nd, but how does Gear 5 stack up against an Admiral level threat, essentially? So, you have it where Akanu's like, oh, Luffy, the Straw Hats are there too, and one of the Marines like, oh yeah, Rob Lucci's there too, and basically he's like, gosh damn it, tell Rob Lucci do not attack Straw Hat right now. We cannot be getting any senseless crap right now. Little too late, even though Stussy is like, hey, I don't think you should be doing this, Lucci, and Lucci's not even paying attention. Quick fun like offshoot thing. I found it funny how when they first get to Egghead, you have it where Kaku's doing all these things around Egghead. Stussy knows, like, oh, you shouldn't be doing this, you shouldn't be doing that. And what's his face? And like one of the things, like I think the funniest one where he tries to go up to the top because that's where Vegapunk's located at the Frontier Dome. And he goes up top there and he gets like dang near electrocuted, almost die. Well, I won't say he almost dies, but he gets pretty roughed up. And Stussy like, oh yeah, there's actually a barrier. And you have it where Kaku's like, you could have told me that earlier, man. Or chick, come on now. So regardless, Lucci and Luffy, they start scrapping. Luffy gets kind of upset and pissed off about what, Lucci did to the one Vegapunk Stella that was very kind to them. And basically Luffy goes into Gear 5. Or at first they're just in their base states. They're in their base states. And then that's when Luffy's like, all right, I'll show you what I really can do. He goes Gear 5. And Vegapunk, he ended up actually going to the Frontier Dome where the other Straw Hats are at. And he's actually seeing this whole fight take place and everything. He also tells Sentomaru, hey, Sentomaru, get the other Straw Hats to where I need them to get at so that I can help them out. And also help with Straw Hat too, because CP0 was here. And basically Vegapunk's like, listen, dude, you owe me. And Sentomaru does it and everything. And he gets the pacifistas ready to go up against CP0 as well. But in this fight with Luffy and Lucci, um, you have that look in Lucci's eyes like, oh, I can see. You're a lot stronger than the last time we fought. All right. He then goes into his leopard form in a weird way, like his awakened leopard form. He's got like these flames around him, like as if it's Gear 4 Luffy too, or even in Luffy's, even like the cloud little thing that Luffy has in Gear 4 and Gear 5, whatever. Same thing. He's a lot more like faster and everything. But the thing that stands out crazy about this fight, and even when I was reading this in the manga, one, the animation, and the episode looks amazing with Lucci versus Luffy, Gear 5 Luffy versus Lucci's awakened form, which that is his awakened form, for people who need background information. But regardless, Luffy is completely owning the fight. And when I was reading this in the manga, I was like, Lucci can't even touch this guy. He's so fast. Luffy's still dodging this guy. And on top of it, Luffy's coming back at this dude and just beating the hell out of him. Like, there's not one thing Lucci can do against Gear 5 Luffy. So that just tells me Gear 5 Luffy is infinitely stronger than awakened form Lucci. Like, he owns him completely. Like, he's dodging all of his moves. He's beating him fairly easy. There's not one. Lucci doesn't even get one hit off of Luffy. Like, he doesn't even graze Luffy in his Gear 5 form. And when I was reading this manga, I'm like, dog, I understand, we know, and it was explained that Gear 5 is probably, if not the most broken ability in this entire universe. But the fact that Gear 5 Luffy is so OP, we remember the struggle Luffy went to fight against Lucci. Mind you, this is Luffy before he had any hockey abilities and when he first started learning how to do Gear 2nd and Gear 3rd. And even then, when he did Gear 3rd, he had that freaking weakness every time he used it where you go into his chibi form. But we know, like, when he went up against Lucci the first time, or the second, the rematch at Enna's Lobby, the man damn near almost died just trying to defeat the guy. Like, he literally was flat out exhausted. The dude could not move after the fight was over. Like, whatsoever. 2 years later, Lucci obviously is a lot more stronger than he was 2 years ago at Enna's Lobby. Luffy's obviously a lot more stronger 2 years ago than he was at Enna's Lobby. But we still see, like, okay, I was thinking, especially from the open, at first when this whole thing, I was like, all right, maybe we could be getting a great fight here. Lucci's getting absolutely butt whooped. Like, it isn't even close. It isn't even close. And that's the shocking thing. Again, like I said, Gear 5 is the most broken ability in this series so far up to this point. But, like, you thought, okay, maybe Awakened Form Lucci can give Gear 5 Luffy some problems. Or some issues. Maybe nothing that Luffy will probably sweat over too much or get brutally injured. But, okay, maybe he has to put some work into this. Not Lucci. So this only makes sense if whenever Kizaru eventually shows up, eventually it looks like we'll be getting Luffy versus Kizaru too. Does this also mean how will Gear 5 Luffy stand up against Emperor or against an Admiral? We already seen Gear 5 Luffy stand up against an Emperor. You know, is he gonna actually struggle to defeat Kizaru, or is Kizaru gonna have the same problems that Lucci's having? But the only thing I push back on that is Kizaru can move at the speed of light because he's got the light fruit, essentially. So he potentially could give Luffy some problems, maybe. I don't know. Whenever that happens, if we get it, we'll see. But absolutely crazy. That's where we last left off before we get tomorrow's episode, picking up where we left off there. But absolute crazy stuff in One Piece. Absolute crazy stuff in One Piece. And yeah. Also another thing, I kind of want to talk about the big robot. It's pretty interesting that it seems that robot is from the Void Century. It's from the Ancient Kingdom, because clearly the world government could not take this thing down. Like, this thing was not getting destroyed, wasn't getting taken down. How it would get stopped, we don't know. Why is it powered down? We don't know. But it has some ties probably the Joy Boy, probably has some ties to the Void Century. You get what I mean, because it's like, they say it's from like 800 years ago, which is the same timeline, same time like the Void Century. So that's kind of the thing right then and there. Yeah, other than that, like, only other small things, but Bonnie wants to kill Vegapunk pretty badly. She's also scared of bugs, which passes out, because she was literally about to kill Vegapunk right then and there until they get a bug. It makes Bonnie pass out and everything. So that's basically it. That's all I gotta say. But anyways, I'm gonna get out of here. If you guys like the video, leave a like, put in the comment section your thoughts on the episodes of One Piece that I talked about, or the points in One Piece I talked about. Put anything in the comment section that I didn't mention that I could probably use or talk about before I start tomorrow's episode review off too. If I missed anything that I probably should have talked about, as well, and things like that. Trust me, I haven't seen these episodes in weeks. I'm just going off the top of my head with what I remember and some major points. But please, you know, put in the comment section if you thought I missed out on something major that I probably should have talked about it. I'll cover that in the review covering the next episode, which will be coming out tomorrow. But anyways, if you guys like the video, leave a like, put in the comment section your thoughts, hit that subscribe button. I believe right now I'm at 830 something subscribers. Let's see. 837 subscribers. So let's get up to 850 subscribers. Then let's get to 900 subscribers. Then 950, and then the big 1,000. So yeah, that's basically kind of the thing right then and there. So we'll see. We will see. Anyways, I'm gonna get out of here. Catch you guys in the next video. Till then, guys, stay safe out there. Have a great rest of your day, night, or whenever you're checking this video. Till then, guys, peace.